Ahoj, ahoj, zdraví vás Marty. Jsem začal využívat rychlé cestování. Tak se si ráčili povšimnout. A dnes jsem se rozhodl, že se trošku protrénuji v soubojích. Pokusím se vyhledat místního faráře, s kterým jsem se nedávno ožral. A tady je.
How are you, Henry?
Father, didn't I see you outside practicing swordplay? I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practice with a stick. A reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in
Krásný
good
boj
form.
smysl.
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no
Odkaz
laughing
na
matter.
Fallouta.
Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Ujet women to witchery.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk and think twice about encouraging witchcraft. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out all you can and deal with it.
Consider it done.
Good. And never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods.
Franz s čertem, to může být zajímavý. Jsem chtěl trénovat s farářem, ale on mi tu možnost nenabídl, proto jdu na starou čarodějnici. Jeden línej kůň. Pak je ten línej kůň. Je. Tak podíváme se, kde je ta čarodějnice. Zdrojodobecký tábor. Kde to může být? Já myslím, že mi to nedal do úkolu. Vrátky s čertem už to mám. No, tady to je. To máme na mapě. Čím se točí mapy? Tímto směrem.
God be with you, Henry.
Ah, which way you going?
Když jsem nějak tam boural. Ani nevíte, jak jsem se do tohohle světa těšil. Asi jsem vždycky po něm odpočinout. To je taková krása. To ani možné není. Strašně si to užívám i přes občasný bugy. Je to prostě špica.
God's sake.
Would you teach me something about medicinal herbs?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Isn't that quite a lot?
Agreed. Now, listen up.
Would you teach me something about medicinal herbs?
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
Wouldn't you rather learn the basics first?
I'm interested in more advanced technique.
Wouldn't you rather...
Well, I'll think it over. I've come from the priest. They're saying you incited some women to witchcraft.
Me? Witchcraft? That's nothing but idle chatter.
You'd be wise to give me a straight answer. I mean you no harm.
As long as it's the truth you speak. Very well. I'll tell you everything. I've done a very foolish thing. It's preying on my mind so much I can't sleep a wink.
But I'm supposed to believe an old witch has pangs of conscience.
Laugh if you like, but it's not a word of a lie. You probably know I sell various magic lotions and potions alongside my herbs. Well, there's one I wish I hadn't sold. You see, Vera, Zlata, and Kuta from Uzhitz wanted a magic ointment from me. I kept refusing them, but in the end, I let them talk me into it.
What kind of ointment was it?
One that will show you a world no one else can see, a place of wonder and terror. The flowers might start talking to you, or the earth could swallow you up. I don't know if it's the work of the devil or of God himself, but the ointment has that power. But it could poison any person who doesn't know how to use it right.
So all this talk of witches anointing themselves and then flying to their sabbaths on broomsticks.
The ointment could make a person see such things. But it was stupid of me letting those foolish women get their hands on it. They could poison themselves or fall off a cliff while they're lost in a dream.
Will you give me the ointment recipe?
It contains belladonna and the herb Paris, both quite poisonous plants. That ought to make you think twice about dabbling with it.
So why did you give them the ointment at all?
Because I'm soft-hearted. You see, one of those women, Vera, lost her whole family in Skalitz. And Zlata's husband was killed. And the youngest of them, Kuta, miscarried with the horror of it all. They said they wanted to use the ointment to speak with the dead and ask them to put a word in with the Lord.
Yeah. I understand how they feel. But I reckon it'll get them nowhere but the ducking stool and the stake.
Judge not, lest ye be judged. I didn't want to give them the ointment, but they offered me a pile of groschen. So I thought how desperate they must be, and I heard their plea.
Their plea or the clink of their coin? And why are you so worried about them all of a sudden? What changed your mind?
I'm losing sleep over it. Firstly, those women don't know what they're doing. And secondly, folk might see it as witchcraft. And do you know what they do to witches?
They burn them alive.
That they do. So don't be surprised I'm worried.
It didn't bother you before, though. What did they want the ointment for?
Each one of them lost a loved one recently, and it's grieving them. They wanted to talk with the dead.
I've heard enough.
If you've heard enough, you must understand why I need your help. Find out from those women what they intend, and watch over them to keep them safe.
Very well. But only because the priest himself asked me to.
Thank you 1,000-fold. I'll go to the Reverend myself and explain. You take care of those women. God bless.
Kolik to stojí milenec? To jsem si koupil. Pár ženský. 60. Já mám kolik 313. Koupím jedny.
Let's talk about the price.
All right, so... Aye, that would do it.
Nějaký pohádce. Zvláštní místo. části vesnice. Už nahoře. Můžeš tu A. Můžeme křižovat se doprava. Jsem zvědav, co ty ženský budou vyvádět. Sfletovaný jak hovada, ukaž co tam dělá.
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
What? Who told you that? Was someone asking around?
Hey, what are you up to? What are you doing there?
Gertrude sent me.
And what did she say? Does she want to add something to the ointment?
No. She's worried about what you'll do with it. It's quite dangerous stuff. Witchcraft and sorcery never brought any good to anyone.
And praying has. For years I spit down on my knees. But where was God when that pack of humans came and slaughtered all the folk in Scarlets? I was with child. Did you know that? But the horror of it drove the child from my womb lifeless. If charms and spells won't help us, nothing will. We're doing no wrong. We go to the woods alone, at night, and we hurt no one. I won't say any more. You might twist it against us.
What are you doing there? What's up? You need some help?
Tak mám další. Jde někde most. Přes minulost na druhou stranu. Pozor! Pozor! Ještě kousek. Pojedeme.
God be with you, Hen.
Jo, díky Michale. Koně mám takového spíše standardního, ale docela jsem si sehnal už pěknou zbroj. A to jsem jakoby víc hrdý. Tak, jedeme. Kde pak nemáme ty paní a jít na ten stůně. A tam se podíváme, může tady dolů. Se strašně líbí ta architektura těch střech. To je úžasný. A nebo ten holubník, ten je tak úplně boží prostě. No, jsem vedle jako jehličnatý strom. Přesněji jako jedle. Máme jaká paní. Všichni. No ona určitě. Že jo?
He's there.
Ona je tam.
God be with you, Henry.
Tam zase.
Greetings, Henry.
Good day, Henry. What part didn't you understand?
Dej mi pokoj.
Get going.
Už jdu. Uzerám teď.
Are you serious?
Do píče. Kde je ta ženská, co já skláním? Tady někde měla být. Která to je? Musíme tu druhou. B. Asi Berta. A C bude Cecílie.
Hey, who's there?
Aha, jdu na druhou stranu. Tam to zezadu překvapíme. Žádná písař tady. A ten ještě o chalupu vedle. Takže mám na vedle chalupa. Projdem.
God save you, Henry. What is it? Are you serious?
Co to je?
Get the hell out of here. There's nothing here for you.
Kde je Věra? Co asi mít nebude. Ty mi už dej pokoj.
Welcome, Henry.
Get going.
Vstávej, chci s tebou mluvit.
Hey.
Buď pozdravena, mladá dámo.
I heard something about a magic ointment that you got from the herb woman.
You heard that where? And what business is it of yours?
The herb woman sent me.
Gertrude? What does she want? Haven't we paid her enough?
That's not the point. The ointment's dangerous, and the herb woman doesn't want you getting up to anything foolish.
Thanks for the concern. But we're grown women. We're old enough to make our own choices. And what we do in the woods at night is no one's business but ours.
Hey, you! Halt!
All right,
I'm
enough.
telling...
What do you want?
Now I'll
Puppet
teach you
for our
what
holy God?
clear off means. This definitely won't come cheap. You'll learn crime doesn't pay.
Greetings, Henry.
Oh, come on, my friend. You know I'm in the service of Sir Radzig Cobbler, don't you?
I didn't know that. My apologies. Go ahead.
Zmrtvím. Tak, ještě jedna ženská mi zbývá. se někde tady, aby takhle chalupa tady. Zvám, že tady taky určitě vyháněl. Chtěl vidět jeho, kdyby měl dělat úkol, ty vole. Je tam ženská. Tady je. Stávej zlato, potřebuji s tebou mluvit.
What hole did you crawl out of? You've no business here.
Ty jsem starý a mluv se mnou.
Hey!
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
Really? I'd like to know where from. And what concern is it of yours, anyway?
The herb woman sent me.
Gertrude? What does she want? More money?
It's not about the money. She's concerned about your health. That ointment can be dangerous, and she wants me to make sure you don't do anything foolish.
It can't have got any more dangerous since she sold it to us. Tell her we're ever so grateful for her concern, and goodbye.
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
Really?
The priest is worried.
The priest? It's nice to find out what telltales you have.
That's enough. What I've heard already amounts to a burning offence.
Burning? Because of some ointment? We mean no harm to anyone. All we do is anoint ourselves at night in the woods. That's no great witchcraft. And you keep your nose out of things that don't concern you.
Tak čítáš, nic jsem si nedostal.
What do you want here?
Co mám za úkol? Ale úkol není dořešený. Že musím ještě zkusit na ní zatlačit.
Be a bit more.
No, tak pojď ven, když nesmím dovnitř. Krávo.
Looking for. Hey, what are you doing here?
Já jdu k tomu, já jdu k farářovi, jo? Pak je farář, asi u kostela někde, v kostele tady.
God save Henry.
To se dává tady. Farář, kde pak je? Faráři, jak pak seš? Jak tě mám hledat? Pak se to volá. Šel v úkolech. Sleduj, je do lesa, no tak. Tě mám sledovat. V noci chodí do lesa, kolik je hodin? Se smívá, že ano? Okay. Tam to smívám, jdu za tou budou. Já se na ně posvítím. Ale už jde. On je nápadně.
God be with you, Henry. Welcome, Henry.
God be with you, Henry.
Lord be with you, Henry.
God be with you, Henry.
Henry, I'm glad you stopped by.
Welcome, Henry.
Don't lie.
How are you, Henry?
Hold on. Ty vole, zase pryč s Terezou, do prčic. To už tam nemůže projít. To jsem na to těšil. To asi loupnu. Ale vezmu to před mapu. Pocestný. To po mně chce pocestný. Je taky pocestný. Proč jen dál?
Henry, I'm glad you came.
Cože, já jsem to nestihl. Do prčic. Musím hrát starší save ještě. si pojď teda domů, tak to jdu. Počkej, telesko.
That was a good idea to go for a walk. Not that I don't like the mill, but you get tired of it. So I'm glad you took me out. I'd love to see the markets in Prague one day. Have you ever been to Prague?
No, I haven't. I have been in Kuttenberg, but Prague must be much bigger.
I've heard it's pretty smelly, though.
Yeah, so many people in one place. So many assholes.
That's disgusting. I'd love to listen to that young preacher, Jan Hus. They say he preaches in the common tongue. Everyone's talking about it.
I bet he's just handsome. That's why the women dote on him.
You're a right one. A preacher doesn't need good looks for people to listen to him.
And what about that fine fellow at St. James? I know full well why all the girls have started going to confession, and you have too, so don't give me any of that.
You scoundrel. Well, all right. I admit I find him handsome. But that doesn't make me a bad Christian.
I'd never dare to suggest such a thing.
Tell you what. Let's not dawdle. Last one is a slimy slug. Fun. Sit down here next to me, Hal. And what about you? I heard you're helping Sir Radzig.
Sir Radzig has me running a few errands. I have to say, he always treats me well, and I make a wage.
So you've had your turn of luck. What's it like serving nobility?
Oh, it's endless luxury, money, banquets, games stuffed with other games.
A chicken stuffed with a frog?
Yeah, and that's nothing compared to a frog stuffed with a chicken.
A goat stuffed...
with a pig?
Now then.
Ah, Henry, what am I going to do with you? Wandering the land, turning innocent girls' heads.
The only one here whose head is all messed up is me. How do you always manage to look so good?
Just look at the lady killer. Where did you learn to talk that way?
I don't recall which church service it was exactly.
You scoundrel. But you certainly know how to make a girl feel special. You may continue. But now I have to go.
Can I go with you?
Just a little way. I don't want anyone to gossip. Thank you for coming with me. Please come and see me again.
Já jedu. Kam pojeme teď? Kam bychom je mohli jet? Co máme za úkoly? Hlavní úkoly. teď si dáme třeba tajemství oceli. A pak máme. Třeba jsme ještě nebyli sázeli. Jsem tady podívat. Teďka se neprojedu. Jo, je tu směrem. Dobře.
What do you do?
Tábor. Jdeme polívku jako vždy. Výborně. A to je něco zajímavého. Třeba něco, co by si jen dalo vštípnout.
Hey, Henry's come to see us.
Všichni mě znají. Je zajímavý. To vede. Aha. Blbě mě to vede. Můžu to převrodit.
Shame I can't swim.
No, zkusíme to vzít pobřeho, uvidíme, jestli bude pozici nějaký moc.
This is certainly no time for roving.
Aha, tam nechce pustit. Jsem se vrátit zpátky a přes most. Už se těším, až bude v létě hezky, vezmu kolo a pojdu se projet třeba kolem nějaký řeky takhle. Třeba kolem Ploučnice. Nebo kolem řeky Kamenice, to je ještě lepší. Tak a teď by to chtělo najít most přes minulost. Nebo přes budoucnost. Kubičku, co vrtneš? Už je opilej. By to nešlo přebrodit. Ale jo. Hovida, koupili. Doleva. Je prý nějaká zajímavost. Ale vždycky nemůžu přijít na to, jaká je to zajímavost. Je tady kámen. Jaká je to tady zajímavost? Tady, aha. Struh, super, 4 struhy. Rybář bude mít radost, až přijde, ani se nebude, ale... Další struhy. Budou hodit. Tak jdeme dál. Hop, koníčku, hop. Šel to tady nahoru koupře. Všechno jde, když se chce. Pořádně zaber. Máš na to, nevím sice na co, ale máš na to. A výborně, dostali jsme se na vršek. To je ale dálka. Ahoj šenováku, ahoj.
Want to earn a bit of coin? And it's safe as houses.
Šenováku, zvýšil jsem trošku bitrate. Ale nevím, jak to teď bude vypadat při streamu. Možná to bude znát až ze záznamu. Tady prý jsem přetížený, jo. Tak protože mám u sebe ty ryby. Struh. Přesnout na koně. Bude mít kůň radost. To vzít trošku cross country, jak se říká. Cestou, necestou, polem, nepolem, jedu za tebou se svým holokoníkem. Brum, 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 brum. Jo, tam jde až to. No jo, ještě kousek. Musím přes řeku přejet. Ne. To je super. A řeku mám. Já se mám utočit. A je takhle, jo. No jo. Tak to jo. Loviště divočáků, wow. Ale Sázavu jsem objevil. To je hezký město. Tam jsem byl na dovolený. Ale ne v roce 1403, ale 1986. Kam jste se koupal? Tak, kde pak je ten kovář? Tady, jak se kouří, jsem u něj.
The sun sets out across
Dobrý den, pane kováři, můj táta byl taky kovář.
I hope I can be of help to you tonight.
They say you're the best blacksmith in the whole region. That metal you've tempered never breaks.
Ah, nothing but old wives' tales. Of course some of my pieces have broken, but only ever here, at the smithy.
No one's ever returned anything for you to rework, though, have they?
Not that I recall, but I can't remember everything.
Father was a blacksmith all my life. He always stoked up the furnace till it roared gently, and you could smell the heated iron. Then he plunged it into the water, and that was that.
What gently humming furnace are you on about? Have you ever actually been near one? You'd end up drenched with sweat the whole time, not just while you were tempering. Don't try and tell me you've ever even been in a smithy.
I've heard it said that you're a warlock.
What? Why the fuck would they say that?
They say when you temper steel, you chant spells, and then nothing of yours ever breaks.
Spells? That's a good one. It's no spell, just a rhyme to time myself so I don't hold the steel hair too long.
I'd like to ask you about the tempering process.
And I'd say...
So that's why I'm curious just how you go about it.
Look, I learnt it from my father. May he rest in peace. And I don't mean to share our secret with anyone.
So it's a family formula?
Actually, yes, it is. And that's how it's going to stay.
So that's why I'm curious just how you go about it.
Look, I learnt it from my father.
So it's a family form?
Actually, yeah.
Let's stop talking about tempering. I've heard it said that you're a warlock.
What? Why the fuck would they say that?
They say when you temper steel, you chant spells, and then nothing of yours ever breaks.
Spells?
Co by mohl opravit? Ty už asi nepůjde tohleto. Jo, půjde. Dáme si to podle... Kde je stav? Je tady, srdíčko. No, tak co máme za úkol? Dá se říkat nějakou říkanku. Dáme se jí.
Why is the blacksmith muttering nonsense to himself? Has he been in the sun too long?
Oh, that's nothing. Just a silly little rhyme for his work, to time it right.
Oh, I see. I thought he was delirious.
No, he's like that all the time. God bless.
Jak mi to klukům pěkně jde od ruky, co? Ani se nespíváte. Zpívej. Máš půl dál, tak se bude zpívat.
I'd like to ask you about the
and I'd say I've nothing much to tell you.
So that's why I'm curious just how you go about it.
Look, I learned it from a...
So it's a family...
Actually, yes.
Let's stop talking about tempering. I've heard it said that you're a warlock.
What? What?
They say when you...
Spell?
Co má on? Kapalín, že byli. Levka, lopata. Obyčejnější. Chci. Ale podkovy, to je zajímavý. Jako podkovy, podkovy. Dám mu 7 řetkviček. Mám si dám sušené houby, sušené ovoce, sůl. Ale zlatý zelený pohár bych měl dát. Má velkou cenu. Nemám na to co. Můžete něco vrátit. Co stojí hodně ty podkovy, akorát.
Can we do something about the price?
Well, we can try it.
What about this?
You won't convince me with that. Finally, a reasonable sum.
No nic, pojďme zpátky. Ať je tady.
Fancy doing something again?
I'd love to, Henry, but not just now. Come and see me in a couple of days.
No,
You've got to let a girl
propose.
catch her breath now and then.
Kolik je hodin? Máš 14. Mám se vydat ještě na cestu, tak jo, vydám se ještě na cestu. Kousek, ne? Byl náplně. Správně. Ne. Jsem přes most. Ty vole, to vždycky nesnáším zasekávání. To nevím. Celkem. jsem daleko. Tam budeme. To bylo tady někde. Já jsem tam.
Hey!
Jesus Christ be praised.
Master Blacksmith, I think I know how the tempering gets done in Sasau.
And what have you found out? Don't keep me on tenterhooks. Out with it.
That chant of his is a sort of nursery rhyme. He uses it to time his heating and quenching.
Well, there we are. I thought those rumours about casting spells were a load of nonsense. And do you recall this little rhyme of his?
Maybe, but that's not all. He heats the metal twice.
Twice? Why would he do that?
You'll have to ask him that. But the second time it didn't hiss, although he heated